Alright, what's going on, guys? It is Shane Dryer, or Story Times of Crimes, and that's obviously new to you. I decided to use this video to introduce the new name of my channel. I'm still going to always say my name in the beginning as well as the name of my channel, just because why not? I figure I might as well do it since I've done it with all my other videos. But I'm going to be doing this now because I don't want jobs or family or people that I know in my life to be looking up my channel anymore. I'd rather just have a cool name and not have people be able to look at all this stuff so easily, because this stuff is very, very bad. And so I really don't want people to access it easily, especially a job, because if you go on Google and search my name, that comes up, and I don't want my name associated with my channel directly anymore, only at the beginning of my videos. So anyways, with that being said, let's just get right into this. So, this story time is going to be about the time that I got drunk during track practice, and actually before track practice, to be more specific. So, in my lifetime, I've only broken in 3 abandoned buildings. One was the story time before, the other was another story time, which is more recent, and the house that's going to be discussed in this one, we're just going to call it Ernest's. That's what we dubbed it. It was another house in Leroy, New York. This one wasn't as eventful. The actual break-in isn't deserving of a story time, but this house is going to get mentioned in this story, so I figure I might as well just mention it. But me and a lot of my friends, I'm not even going to name any of them, just because, first of all, I don't name actual names of people ever. They're always made up. But there's just so many people that went here, I'm not even going to talk about it. But this place, we found, what's crazy about this place is we had searched it when we had broken in, and this place was crazy creepy, because it was definitely haunted. Just trust me when I say this place had creepy vibes. We're not really talking about that, though. That's getting distracted from the topic. But what we did find in this house, it was a huge abandoned mansion. What we did find was a huge cabinet full of liquor. We all got to take home at least 2 bottles each. It was lit. And I remember I had my gin bottle, and I brought it to school. And I actually didn't get caught at track practice, funny enough. But we had gone to Ernest, and me and my friend Jay, we'll just call him Jay, we were in track together. This is actually the same kid that the slitting the throat threat story was about. But we had both drank. We drank a lot, okay? And I remember this because at the time I had a very, very shitty phone. This was way back. I think this was in 8th grade, because this was back when I had my piece of shit flip phone. And it was so shitty, in fact, because I had raged so many times at it, because it was already slow enough as is, and I would get so impatient with it. I would slam it against tables that it would like randomly stop working, and I had to pull the battery out and put it back in. And I remember I had gotten so drunk at the place that I had taken the battery out and forgotten it. So, and the thing about this house that we broke into, the funny part about the houses that we broke into in the town of Leroy, the one abandoned building, which is the most recent abandoned building story, was in Hamburg, New York. But what's crazy about the houses that we broke into in Leroy is they were very close to the high school, that's just crazy how that coincidence happens there. But it's true. And this particular house, you have to cross a huge cornfield. Okay, and this cornfield, we got lucky because this was the time of year where the corn had been I don't know what the harvested. Harvested is the word. And remember, we had ran across the whole field drunk. Okay, and it was a hot summer. It wasn't a summer day, but it was the time of year where it was getting really close to the end of the year, and it was getting hot. And man, that was miserable enough as it is. And I was on the verge of puking. You know how when you get drunk and you just get to that point where you almost want to puke, but you obviously don't want to puke, because you don't want to puke. Puking isn't fun. And I remember I got back, and it was like a half hour before practice, and I was like, oh fuck, I left the battery in my phone, and I knew I couldn't leave it there, because how was I gonna explain that I lost the battery in my phone? So I had to run all the way back over there. And I remember I was so drunk. How we had gotten in this place was funny, because the place was extremely boarded up all around, but the retards who owned the place left the garage door open, so you could literally just open it. I'm just gonna rip ass because I don't even care. Oh, that wasn't even that legendary. But anyways, back to the story. I had opened the garage door, and I was so drunk I let it fall, and I made a huge bang. And I grabbed my battery, ran back across the field, and I ran track. And you know, it's funny, being drunk, it makes you especially with me having like anxiety and shit, it makes you really loose. So people didn't pick up on it, but I remember one of the funniest parts about it was I told my coach, I was like, oh, I'm dizzy, and he was like, oh, you can take a rest. Running makes you dizzy. And I was like, yeah, it does. He had no fucking idea. It was crazy, and it's crazy because when you're drunk, you think everybody knows you are, but obviously, unless you're at a bar or with friends and you they all know that you're drinking, most likely you can hide it. But I was pretty fucking drunk. And actually, I hate saying that because a lot of people have a hard time hiding it. But for me, it's very easy for me to hide it. In fact, I can even drive drunk. I remember I drove drunk with my friends for like 4 hours one time, like nonstop. Didn't swerve once. I stayed in between the lines. My friends were astonished at how good I was at driving drunk. But anyways, back to this story. This story is gonna start sloping down. It's coming to an end. But I remember this lady who used to clean at my aunt's house would always pick me up after track practice, and I got in her car and she smelled the vodka on my breath. Okay, or it wasn't vodka, it was gin. I get those confused because they're both clear, but she smelled it on my breath. And actually, the reason why I mistaked it for vodka is because she called it vodka, and I just told her that it was. But she knew I was drunk, and she just gave me like the tisk tisk tisk. You know, you shouldn't do that, but she didn't tell my aunt. And yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I had cut this part in because I had said some incriminating stuff. Went back and rewatched the video. I want to fix a couple things. One is that even though I did bring the gin to school, I chose to drink it at Ernest's because I didn't want to get drunk in school, but I shouldn't have gotten drunk at track practice regardless, but I did. Also, I noticed I had said mistooked instead of mistook, or I think I said mistaked or mistooked, but it's mistook. So I realized that I fucked that up. I'm sorry. Most of you don't even care about that mistake, but I do because I have obsessive compulsive disorder. And basically, just to finish the story off, one of the incriminating things I had said was the friend's name. So let's call him Jay. Actually, it said his full name, not his full name, but his first name. And I just don't even want even first names mentioned, just in case legalities come in. But anyways, he had been picked up by his mom, and the way to go to his house actually takes you right in front of Ernest, and that's how we had known about it. He was the one who brought it up and said we should break in there. And I was like, hell yeah, but he had seen cops there, so they'd probably been called there due to me slamming the garage door shut because I was so drunk I didn't even care to set it down lightly. I just let it fall. But yeah, that's basically all there is to that story. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe and turn on the bell, and more is to come.